Hi, welcome to Christy Sunrise. Today I'm going to share with you my recipe for Salisbury steak and chop steak. I'm going to show you two recipes in one video just because I'm trying to make it simple. Join me. Here we go. We're going to begin with about 2 pounds of ground beef. We're going to use 1/3 cups of breadcrumbs. We're going to use, of course, some salt and pepper. We're going to use 1 egg, which it's back here. I have 4 cups of beef broth, and those that know my videos and know me, I use the beef cubes. You dissolve 1 beef cube per 1 cup of water. And I'm going to throw in some onions and some mushrooms. So let's get started. It'll have a gravy. So it's going to be Salisbury steak, the hamburger meat with gravy. So here we go. Make some room here. So I'm going to whisk the egg. You can use a whisk or I'm using a fork. I'm going to use 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs. Sure you are. When I made this, really the meatloaf, growing up at home, we didn't have those fancy breadcrumbs like we have now. We would use crumbled pieces of bread. Yuck, yuck. But we use the breadcrumbs now, and I've also used saltine crackers where I'll put them in a bag, like a sandwich bag, and roll a rolling pin over them to crumble them up real good if I didn't have the breadcrumbs. That works just as good. Much better than the bread. Okay, we're going to need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Now, if, as y'all know, my husband doesn't like onions. So if, normally when I make this, I do not put the onions in it. I would, at this point, add onion powder to this. But I'm doing the onions and the mushrooms. I'm a fan of the onions. He's a fan of the mushrooms. So we're doing both of them for you today. Okay, I got to remember to leave some of this meat out and not put it in this mixture for the chop steak. This is about 2 pounds of hamburger meat. And we're gonna, see, I'm forgetting. I gotta leave some of this out, not to be in this mixture for the chop steak. So this is gonna be my chop steak. Okay. I'm going to make it round. You can salt and pepper it. But that's going to be my chop steak. Okay, this is still a little frozen, but it's okay. We just break it up. Now, the meat is 80-20. I do buy our hamburger meat from a meat market, and it does appear to be way leaner than the 80-20 and that I would buy from the grocery store. So, and I'll show you this when I'm cooking it. Okay, once we get it all mixed up, you need to get all of that breadcrumb and egg mixture incorporated throughout the meat. If not, you're going to have, well, it's not going to be bad what you're going to have, but just try to get it all incorporated. That's all. That's all we ask. So the chopped steak is just going to be a hamburger patty, but it's going to have the opportunity to be in with the gravy and mushrooms and onions. Okay, so when I form these patties, I put them in an oval. I remember that's how they were shaped in the TV dinners we used to buy for 20 cents. Remember, I was raised by my dad, so we didn't have a lot of real home-cooked meals. We ate a lot of TV dinners. And they were 10 cents. Then they went up to 20 cents. So now you know how old I am. Okay. I'll go ahead and show you that now. So I have 4 cups of beef broth. And I'm going to put a little bit of it in here. Maybe half a cup. I don't really know. And I'm going to add, because I have 4 cups of the broth, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. 1, 2, 3. We will use this at the end. Of the cooking process, but I like to get it now because it mixes, the cornstarch mixes with it better when it's cool. So put that aside. You can see it's between medium and low. I don't cook things at really high temperatures unless it should be. And for the broth, I put 4 cups of water, 4 of these beef cubes. I put it in the microwave for 4 minutes, and there we have it. Okay, I'm going to let this heat up a little bit. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to our chopped steak. And you can add, well, you don't need to add onion powder because we're going to have onions in the mix. So the only difference between the chopped steak meat and the Salisbury steak meat is this does not have the breadcrumbs, egg mixture. So I'm going to set that one in the middle. I'm going to put these on the side. And we're going to fry them up. Okay, it's cooked for 7 minutes. I'm going to flip it. Well, it's still stuck to the pan, so I'm not going to flip it yet. You know, to let it cook a little bit until it releases from the pan. It's easy to release. This isn't quite easy to release. So I'm going to cook it a few more minutes. I'm going to turn the temperature up a little bit and not a whole lot. You can see the burner. It's still on my stove between medium and low, but a little closer to medium. Remember, I don't cook things real fast. So turn that up some. And the meat, now the middle one can release pretty easy. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that one. These are still, well, they're starting to release. So about 8 minutes. If they're not easy to release, don't flip them yet. You can turn your pan around too. Yeah, that should have let them cook a little longer. I'm trying to hurry so you're not wasting your time with me, but you know what? If you want to learn how to cook it, this is how it goes. Check back with me. So it's been almost 10 minutes. Oh yeah, see, release is much easier. Release is much easier. Except for this little dude. We're going to flip him. Okay. You can see there's not very much and hardly any oil in here. Okay, so it has been cooking almost 20 minutes. So you could do like 9 minutes on each side. Again, it depends on the temperature that you're going to cook this at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these little darlings. See how they are cooked. Now they're going to cook in the sauce too. So if they're not completely done, that is okay. But as you can see, hardly any grease. But we got lots of yummy drippings. So watch this magic. We're deglazing the pan. We're going to scoop up all this yummy stuff. You don't want to discard this because this is flavor. I'm going to throw in the onions first. I'm going to cook the onions a little bit. Now, you probably would put more onions than this. My husband's not a fan of onions, so, but I wanted to show y'all this process. So today he's getting onions. So cook those down a little bit. I'm going to add a little more broth. Okay, I'm back. So I'm cooking the onions down some. Because anything my husband doesn't like, it's a crunchy onion. But again, they're going to be cooking in with the sauce too. So they'll be getting more tender. But, you know, they say happy wife, happy life. Well, mine is happy husband, happy life. He's a good guy. He's good to me. Can't complain. I'm going to go ahead and throw the mushrooms in. Let them cook down a little bit. Get them sauteed in there. This yummy goodness. Add a little more broth. Since this is evaporated some, I am going to add more water to bring it back up to 4 cups. And because I like a lot of flavor, I'm going to add another beef cube. But I will tell you, if you're meat makes a lot of grease, then you can saute the onions and the mushrooms in that, and you don't have to use some of the water. But our meat is very lean. Even though it's 80-20, it's chuck 80-20, but it's pretty lean. You can see the onions are becoming more translucent. I'm just going to cook really some of this liquid out since I'm adding that other too. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I am going to add the meat back in, one little patty at a time. Let's see, they do shrink up. This is our chop steak. I'm going to put him back in the middle. I'm going to add this broth. Remember, I added another cube, so I'm going to add this broth. I'm going to turn it up high. I'm going to bring it to a boil. We are going to have lots of gravy. So I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to simmer it for a good 30 minutes. And then we'll be thickening we'll be making the gravy, thickening the broth by adding this cornstarch and water mixture. Jumping in to show you, they've been cooking, boiling at kind of a simmer for about 14 minutes. I'm going to flip them. You don't have to flip them, but I'll usually flip them. And they will continue to cook. And I will be back in about 15 minutes. Okay, here we are on the home stretch. Now, you can do this two ways. What we're going to do is we're going to add the slurry, if you may, of cornstarch and beef broth. You can take it all out, the patties out, and then put it in there, but I don't do that. I just kind of add it to a section, whirl it around, add it to a section, whirl it around. You can see it's starting to get a little thick. Add it to a section, whirl it around, add it to another section, whirl it around. Just add all of this to the middle, whirl it around. And you can see the consistency changing. Get my spoon out. Voila, we got gravy. Delicious, delicious gravy. Okay, there's my chop steak. I remember him. And there's my Salisbury steak. So okay, the chop steak. It's very, very hot. I need to let it cool for a second. The chopped steak is basically a hamburger patty with gravy. Now, the Salisbury steak will have a different texture. Mm, 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 mm. The Salisbury steak is more tender. That's how I'm going to describe it to you. So, here you go. Homemade chopped steak with gravy. Salisbury steak with gravy. I hope you try the recipe. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. And subscribe to my channel. And continue coming back. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes. With gravy. It does not get any better than this, folks. Does not.